But I haven't looked at all of the hero talents like super in depth. I looked at the Druid ones. Feral Druid. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Wildstalker. Rip and Rake damage has a chance to cause Bloodseeker Vines to grow on the victim, dealing bleed damage over 6 seconds. Come here. Wild Growth, Regrowth, and Efflorescence have a chance to cause symbiotic blooms. Multiple instances of these can overlap. Okay. Damage healing while in cat form increased by 5%. Moonfire and Sunfire damage increased by 10%. Wild Growth and Rake lasts 20% longer. Bloodseeker Vines and Symbiotic Blooms last 2 additional seconds. When a target afflicted by Bloodseeker Vines dies, the vines jump to a nearby unaffected target for the remaining duration. Root Network. Each active Bloodseeker Vine increases... Wait, turn the music down. Each active Bloodseeker Vine increases damage of abilities by 2%. Okay. Like a little bit of some funnel, kind of. The more you have up on different targets, the more damage you do. Each active increases the healing of your life from Wild Growth. Bloodseeker Vine increases the damage your abilities deal to affected enemies by 10%. Then there's the middle tree. Attacker's Fury and attacking from Prowl increase the chance for Shred, Rake, and Brutal Slash to critical strike by 8% for 6 seconds. Casting Regrowth increases the chance of your periodic heals to crit by 10% for 6 seconds as well. Okay. Vortex are rooted in place for 6 seconds. Damage may cancel the effect. Okay, so like they get pulled into a vortex and then they get rooted for 6 seconds. During Barkskin, your movement speed is increased by 10%. Every second, flowers grow beneath your feet that heal up to 3 nearby injured allies. Barkskin heals other people. I guess yourself as well. Maybe. When Bloodseeker Thorns expire, they explode, dealing physical damage nearby enemies. Damage reduced above 5 targets. Then when Symbiotic Bloom expired, flowers grows around the target, healing them. Then there's this one. Rip damage increase, Ferocious Bite, Reach of Healing, Efflorescence is Life Bloom. Okay, 10% increased healing received. Or like your regrowth healing on yourself is increased by 50%. Pretty good on Feral, right? Like with the instant cast regrowths. That seems pretty fucking sick for self-healing. When Bloodseeker Vines or Symbiotic Blooms grow, they have a 10% chance to cause another growth of the same type to immediately grow on a valid nearby target. If the other talent, Feral Frenzy, immediately causes a Bloodseeker Vine to grow on the target. Casting Regrowth that is made instant via Nature's Swiftness causes Symbiotic Bloom to grow on the target. So that is Feral and Resto. Then yeah, the scale commander we looked at. I do think Orc. I wouldn't be surprised if Augmentation Evoker becomes like the best for high keys again next season. Like that would be the Trickster. Yeah, this one. There was one interesting talent for Rogue I saw. Let me see where it was. It was like Tricks of the Trade now lasts. Yeah, this one. Tricks of the Trade duration is increased to 1 hour. Like if Rogue is actually good, this opens up so many potential ideas in dungeons. Like, this is crazy about it. Permanent tricks is actually insane. Now, I don't know what that necessarily means, because having permanent tricks is one thing, but tricks usually also has a... Like, if you use tricks, and then the target now goes like 100 yards away, over 100 yards, right? Then even though you have tricks up on the tank, you still don't redirect threat to the affected tricks target, right? So I don't know like how that interaction is going to work, but this is kind of similar to what we did when we were using the infinite misdirection bug. I don't know if you guys know, maybe a lot of you watched The Great Push, but like one of our strategies in the first season of The Great Push, there was a bug with MD. So if you pressed misdirection and then you cancel out the misdirection, it was up infinitely. It didn't expire. You just had perma misdirection on the tank. And then we had our hunter stay on the bridge, no, on the stairs, sorry, where the plague boar spawned. And he would just be misdirecting the plague borers to the tank throughout the whole dungeon. And these mobs, they exploded after some time, and they did damage to friendly targets as well. And they did a lot of damage. So we used this strat to actually do a key level or 2 higher than everyone else in that dungeon. That was pretty crazy. Is the luck hero tree good? Let's take a look. So, Diabolist. Primarily FX miniboss. I don't remember. There was something with that boss as well. Spending a soul shard grants Diabolic Ritual for 20 seconds. While the ritual is active, each soul shard spent reduces duration by 1 second. When the ritual expires, you gain Demonic Art, causing your next ability that costs soul shards to summon an Overlord, Mother of Chaos, or Pit Lord that unleashes a devastating attack against your enemies. Okay. Enemies damaged by your Overlord have their souls cloven, increasing damage taken by you and your pets by 10% for 20 seconds. You have... This is a choice note. You always gain the benefit of Soul Burn when casting Demonic Circle, increasing your movement speed by 50% and making you immune to snares and roots for 6 seconds. You have that at the moment as well, right? Out of Terra cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds and range is increased by 5 yards. But yeah, the Soul Edge Circles, that's what people use for, they're called Syndrome, right? Flames of Sorrow. Fire damage increased by 2% and damage dealt by demons increased by 2%. This is kind of like a not so like a little extra damage, nothing else. Alright, summoning Pit Lord causes your next Hand of Gul'dan or Chaos Ball to become Ruination. Okay. Force down a demon-infested meteor from the depths of the Twisting Nether, dealing chaos damage and impact to all enemies within 8 yards. And it summons 3 wild imps. Diabolic Ritual increases damage of your next ability that costs soul shards by 30% and reduces cast time 50%. You have 2 here. Cruelty of Ursan. Nether Portal. Yes. Summon Demonic Tyrant and Infernal. Gives you a Diabolic Ritual and reduces duration by 3 seconds. Yeah, so it's like reducing its durations because when it expires, it summons this a Pit Lord. Then you have Infernal Machine. Your soul shard spitting ability decreases the duration of ritual by 1 second, while your Tyrant, Nether Portal, or Infernal is active. Okay. Grimoire, Felguard, and Cataclysm gains an additional effect. The demo, Felguard lasts 3 seconds longer, and its cooldown is duration. Wait, and its cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds. So it lasts 3 more seconds, and cooldown is reduced by 30. Casting Cataclysm summons an Overfiend that casts Chaos Ball 2 times at 80% effectiveness before departing. You have over here Mother of Chaos empowers your next Shadow Bolt or Incinerate to become Demon Fire Barrage. Okay. Challenge a barrage of 4 Shadow Bolts at 150% effectiveness towards the enemy target over 1.5 seconds. Choice note here. Unending Resolve heals you for 30% of your maximum health over 10 seconds. Or you can have Unending Resolve grant Soul Leech equal to 10% of your maximum health. Increase the maximum amount of Soul Leech can absorb by 10% for 8 seconds. The last one. Hand of Gul'dan deals 15% increased damage for each soul shard spent. For destruction, enemies marked by a Havoc take 5% increased damage from your single target spells. Okay. That's Warlock. I haven't looked at the Mage ones, actually. Or the Hunter ones. Dark Ranger. Let's look at Hunter. Black Arrow. 30-second cooldown. Fire Black Arrow into your target, causing it to take shadow damage every 2 seconds for 16 seconds. Each time Black Arrow deals damage, you have a chance to reset the cooldown for aim shot or barb shot. Okay. Back then, Black Arrow did similar things just with explosive shot. Black Arrow was such a cool ability. I really liked it. Aim shot and rapid fire deals 50% increased damage. Barb shot and kill command deal 15% increased damage. While Black Arrow resets the cooldown of an ability, gain 15 focus. When a target affected by a Black Arrow dies, the cooldown of Black Arrow is reduced by 12 seconds. Okay. When a snipe like when a snipe targets that don't die too quickly, but it's like Murder of Crows, kind of. A little bit. When True Shot or Call of the Wild is active, Black Arrow deals 50%. Oh, it deals damage 50% faster. Okay. I don't know if that means the duration is also increased, but if it just procs more often, then there's obviously higher chance of resetting aim shot or barb shot. Each time Black Arrow deals damage, you have a chance to manifest an Undead Hound to charge your target and deal shadow damage. Then you have 2 choice notes here. You heal for 15% of all shadow damage dealt by you or your pets. Interesting. Then BM Hunter can actually finally get some fucking leech. This was like, that leech didn't work on like pet damage. It's just been so bad. Acceleration grants you 3 seconds of survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest activates acceleration at 50% effectiveness. Okay. When multi-shot hits a target affected by Black Arrow, burst of shadow energy erupts, dealing moderate shadow damage to all enemies near the target. It can only occur once every 6 seconds. Moderate shadow damage. I don't know how much that is. When Black Arrow resets the cooldown of aim shot or barb shot, a barrage of dark arrows strikes your target for shadow damage. Increase the damage you and your pets deal by 10% for 6 seconds. Then you have here, when you apply Black Arrow to a target, you gain the Death Blow or Hunter's Prey effect. Death Blow or Hunter's Prey. Don't know what that is. Death Blow is the kill shot, right? Hunter's Prey, I'm not sure. Disengage will chain the closest target to the ground, causing them to move 40% slower until they move 8 yards away. All shadow damage you and your pets deal is increased by 10%. Or kill shot has a 50% chance to generate a charge of aim shot or barb shot when used on a target affected by Black Arrow. This right note here, like, seems very meh. Okay, so Mage now. Frostfire Mastery. Yeah, Hunter didn't seem that hot. I mean, I'm pretty excited about Black... Black Arrow. As like a spell, because I think it's a pretty interesting spell. But yeah, the survivability thing, I think getting some self-healing here... I could see this one, like the defensive talents actually making a little bit of a difference. Hunter is kind of tanky nowadays, I would say. Like, they have higher HP, they are male, so they're not bad against physical. You do have pretty high uptime on acceleration if you're actually pressing it. I would say that you should probably take acceleration off the GCD. I think that would be pretty good. And then, of course, you have 2 personals, Survival the Fittest, and called the... I don't remember the fucking name. The one that heals you and gives you max HP. Forgot the name. But you know what we're missing? Back in the day, Hunter's Mark gave you damage reduction on the target that you put it on. That was in Shadowlands. But the thing that I think Hunters needed the most, again, was Feign Death giving you an Absorb Shield. Or Feign Death giving you damage reduction. It was so nice to have something that just gave you a little bit of absorb or damage reduction on a short cooldown. Hunter was so fucking tanky in Shadowlands, especially on Survival Hunter. You had the Feign Death, you had the Hunter's Mark that you just applied to a boss, so the boss did like a baseline less damage, unless it was environmental damage, right? Then it didn't work. But if it was direct damage from the boss, you just have DR straight from the Hunter's Mark. Feign Death gave you DR, short cooldown, off GCD, and you had insane leech healing on Survival. You pressed on AoE, 1 Wildfire Bomb, and you just topped yourself. It was so good. It felt really, really good. Oh yeah, that and Wild Spirits was the best fucking offensive cooldown Hunter has ever had. Now please bring that back. Wild Spirits were so good. That's what we need. But yeah, let's check Mage out. Okay, Frostfire Mastery. Damaging fire spells generate 1 stack of Fire Mastery, and Frost spells generate 1 stack of Frost Mastery. Fire Mastery increases your haste by 1%, and Frost Mastery increases your mastery by 1% for 12 seconds. Stacks up to 8 times. Adding stacks does not refresh the... Okay. Frost Mages. Get Mastery, Fire Mage. It's Haste. Then you have 2 here. Item Imbued Warding. Blazing Barrier also casts an Ice Barrier at 25% effectiveness. This also affects your Mass Barrier. For Frost, Ice Barrier also casts a Blazing Barrier. That's pretty nice. You melt, or you melt slightly out of your Ice Block and Ice Cold, allowing you to move slowly during Ice Block. Increases your movement speed over time. Ice Block and Ice Cold trigger a blast wave when they end. Why are they adding a random knock when Ice Cold and Ice Block expires? That's just such a weird thing to add. And there has to be a PvP. But it can also... I guess maybe PvP, but it seems like... in PvE, many times, at least in dungeons, it could kind of grieve a bit. I guess you just go with the Imbued Warding for M+, for sure, and rating, right? Don't think the moving in Ice Block is gonna be a thing. Like, if you have to deal with mechanics, like, it's very rare that you cannot survive a mechanic with Ice Cold. Ice Block is good in some cases when you can completely, let's say, remove a debuff that's either permanent or has a very long duration, which allows you to double soak certain things, right? In some cases, you can even triple soak. Like, sometimes you get a mechanic, soak it, then you get a damage increase from that ability if you soak it again. But then if you soak the mechanic the next time with an ice block, for example, you remove your first debuff and you immune the next one. Now you soak twice and you don't have a debuff currently. Then you can soak 3 times. But in many cases nowadays, on Mythic mechanics, Blizzard can just tag it and it can bypass immunities if they really don't want you to do that. So they do that a lot with, like, especially the later fights when they really want you to not cheese a mechanic. Okay, so we have here Isothermic Core. Comet Storm now also calls down a Meteor at 100% effectiveness. Meteor also calls down a Comet Storm. Okay. So it's kind of cool though, being a Frost Fire Mage, you know, like when I'm a Fire Mage, I want to see the fucking Frost spells raining down as well. That is kind of cool though. I do like that. Excess Frost. Fire. Reaching maximum stacks of Frost Mastery causes your next Feeding Flames to also cast Ice Nova at 200% effectiveness. When you consume excess Frost, the cooldown of Meteor is reduced by 5 seconds. Okay. So when you reach maximum stacks of Frost Mastery. So that is when... so currently, if I go down the left tree here, I will only get Frostfire Mass... I will only get Frost Mastery from pressing Meteor, because then Comet Storm will trigger the Frost Mastery. This is such a... So, in what way would I ever gain maximum stacks of Frost Mastery if I'm not casting Frost spells? Because I have Frost Firebolt. Okay. Maybe I'll get more Frost spells in my toolkit as fire. Need to look at the other trees. I've only looked down the left side now. But yeah, okay. So when you reach max Frost Mastery, your next Phoenix Flames also cast Frost Ice Nova at 200% effectiveness. When you consume excess Frost, the cooldown of Meteor is reduced by 5 seconds. Now for Frost, reaching maximum stacks of Frost Mastery causes your next Flurry to also cast Ice Nova. Wait. So, Frost gains their thing from Frost Mastery, but Fire also gains their thing from Frost Mastery as well. Won't Frost get way more value from this talent than Fire does, though? Won't Frost, like, reach this, like, way more often? What do you have here? Frostfire Empowerments grants you maximum benefit of Frostfire Mastery and refreshes duration. Aha. Activating Combustion or Ice Events grants you Frostfire Empowerment. Okay. Then we have here Frostfire Bolt. It replaces Frost and Fireball. Launches a bolt of Frostfire at enemy, dealing Frostfire damage, slowing movement speed of 50% and causing an additional Frostfire damage over 8 seconds. Frostfire Bolt generates a stack of both Fire Mastery and Frost Mastery. So you will get both Haste and Mastery in one. The fuck? Casting Frost or Fire spells increase the damage done of your next Frostfire Bolt by 6%, stacking up to 5 times. But how does it work? If I cast Frostfire Bolts, do I also gain increased damage on my Frostfire Bolt? Because... And how would that work? Because would I get... Let's say, if I'm casting a Frostfire Bolt, would I then gain 2 stacks of severe temperatures? Or do you think it would only count for 1? Because I'm technically casting both a fire and a frost spell. So I don't know how that will work. Maybe it's just one. Or you can go for cast time. So yeah, Frost and Fire spells have a chance to activate Frostfire Empowerment, causing your next Frostfire bolt to always critically strike. Roll for 80% of its damage to nearby enemies and be cast. Okay. That's pretty nice though. It doesn't look like it does split damage either. Then you have here Elemental Affinity. For fire, the cooldown of frost spells is reduced by 10%. Cooldown of fire spells is reduced by 30% for frost. Or fire. Cauterize resets the cooldown of your frost spells with a base cooldown shorter than 4 minutes when it activates. Okay. Cold Snap additionally resets the cooldown of your fire spells. So no ice block. Doesn't ice block have baseline 4-minute cooldown nowadays? Or do they actually specify shorter than 4 minutes? So they are specifically saying that block does not go down. I guess ice block has 4 minutes, doesn't have shorter than 4 minutes. And it also says with a base cooldown. So if you have any kind of CDR talent, I guess that wouldn't work. It would also be kind of broken. If you have, let's say, Ice Cold or Ice Block, you press it, it goes on cooldown, you pour Cauterize, and then you get Ice Cold back. That's kind of fucking sick if that worked. Maybe a little bit too OP. You would actually just not possible to die. Mage for V, yeah, true. So we have Frostfire Infusion. Frost and Fire spells have a chance to trigger an additional bolt of Frostfire, dealing Frostfire damage. This effect generates Frostfire Mastery when activated. Frost and Fire spells have a chance to trigger an additional bolt of Frostfire. Okay. So, like, your Frostfire bolt, or just any fire or Frost spell, can trigger another Frostfire bolt. We have Excess Fire. Reaching the maximum stacks of Fire Mastery. Causes your next Fire Blast to apply Living Bomb at 150% effectiveness. This Living Bomb explodes, it reduces the cooldown of Phoenix Flames. Reaching maximum stacks of Fire Mastery causes your next Ice Lance to apply Living Bomb at 150% effectiveness. Okay. I mean, I think Fire looks pretty fucking juicy, I'm not gonna lie. Getting the Living Bomb procs from your Fire Blasts. Depends on like how fast it actually... This Frostfire Mastery. I mean, the amount of fire spells you do as a fire mage currently, like, it's crazy, right? Because you have Fire Blast off the GCD that you can do mid-cast and like, you're doing so many spells constantly, especially since you're a haste scaling class that likes to play a lot of haste. So, Fire looks pretty fucking cool, not gonna lie. Like, I would say Hunter was a little bit meh. The only thing that was really cool, I think, was Black Arrow. A little bit, some nice defensive talents. But I think Mage looks way better. If I had to just look at the tree and say what looked coolest, I think Frostfire Mage is, I think, is pretty nice. The Augmentation Evoker, I think, is also pretty nice tree as well. Didn't read the foundation one. Chrono Warden. Yeah. No, sorry, the Scale Commander one. That one looked pretty cool. Chrono Warden is also augmentation. Living Flame is enhanced with bronze magic, repeating 50% of the damage or healing you dealt to the target. Hover. Ooh. In the last 5 seconds. Gone. I did read the Rogue one. The Rogue one also looked pretty cool. Especially with the, like, I don't know, the 1 hour tricks. I mean, you can never die to aggro again. It's actually insane. To be honest. I like the Feint one. Oh yeah. Feint does damage now, right? I don't think people are, I mean, having a personal cooldown that does damage, doesn't everyone want that? That like something that most people would be happy with? Expensive does, I mean, the thing is, you're just naturally gonna be having uptime on a personal cooldown that also does damage. I think that's kind of not. I mean, the thing is, Rogue is already so fucking tanky. Rogue has historically been like cheat death and cloak, evasion. What did you have? You had die by the sword as outlaw. Like you always historically had so many good things. Leech as well, a lot of leech healing, poison or Grand Melee also used to give leech healing as well in the past. An outlaw. Now you have leeching poison, other healing talents that you use, depending on your spec. But yeah, I mean, now they just get more stuff. How much could you play as 5? You kind of just want to have like a good balance between your stats, right? A good amount of crits, easy to play over 50% crit chance, and amount of haste as well, around like the 35% mark is nice, and then you can get some Ursa as well. Just kind of like you want to try and get a little bit of a balance between those three, and then when you start going into like certain stat DRs, mastery could become like a decent stat as well, just for AoE reasons only. But generally, crit is just a better mastery stat in general. Not only does it give you value from your set bonus, right? It gets you higher uptime on AB as well. And during combustions, you convert stat crit over to mastery anyway, right? So that's why crit is generally just a better scaling stat now with the different set bonuses. Not so, but yeah, it's just about simming your character and then going for what you need.